Welcome back, everyone, to English Talking Today. I'm Emily.
And I'm Stefan, broadcasting to you today from sunny New Delhi.
That's right, Stefan. We're excited to dive into a topic that many English learners ask us about: how to practice English effectively when you don't have a regular speaking partner.
It's a common challenge, Emily. Finding someone to consistently practice with can be difficult due to time constraints, different skill levels, or simply not knowing other learners in your area. But the good news is, it's absolutely possible to make significant progress on your own.
Exactly. So today, we're going to explore a range of strategies and techniques you can use to boost your English speaking and overall fluency, all without needing a dedicated partner. Let's start with perhaps the most fundamental aspect: talking to yourself.
It might sound a little strange to some, but it's actually a very powerful tool. Think of it as having a conversation with your inner English speaker.
Absolutely. You can narrate your daily activities, describe what you're doing, thinking, or planning. For example, if you're making breakfast, you can say things like, "Okay, first I'm taking the eggs out of the refrigerator. Now I'm turning on the stove. I need to find a pan."
It's like providing your own live commentary. This helps you to think in English and get comfortable forming sentences spontaneously. You're practicing vocabulary and grammar in a real-life context, even if it's just in your head or spoken aloud in private.
And it doesn't have to be just about describing actions. You can also have imaginary conversations. Pretend you're ordering food at a restaurant, asking for directions, or chatting with a new acquaintance.
That's a great idea, Emily. You can even create scenarios based on topics you're currently learning. If you're studying vocabulary related to travel, imagine you're at an airport, checking in for a flight, or asking about local attractions.
Another fantastic technique is to think in English. Try to switch your internal monologue from your native language to English as much as possible throughout the day.
This takes practice, but it's incredibly effective in building fluency. At first, you might find yourself translating a lot, but over time, you'll start to think directly in English. If you encounter a word you don't know, make a mental note to look it up later.
Exactly. And don't get discouraged if you slip back into your native language occasionally. Just gently bring your thoughts back to English. The more you practice, the easier it will become.
Moving on, let's talk about using resources around you. One excellent way to immerse yourself in English is through audio and visual materials.
Yes! Podcasts, for example, are fantastic. There are podcasts for every interest level and topic imaginable, and you can listen to them anytime, anywhere.
And for learners, there are many podcasts specifically designed for English language development, often spoken at a slower pace and with clear explanations. We hope our podcast, English Talking Today, is one of those resources for you.
Smiling, we certainly hope so. Another great audio resource is audiobooks. Listening to stories in English can significantly improve your vocabulary, pronunciation, and understanding of sentence structure.
And don't forget about music. Listening to English songs and trying to understand the lyrics can be a fun and engaging way to learn. You can even look up the lyrics and sing along.
On the visual side, movies and TV shows are invaluable. Watching them in English with subtitles, initially, perhaps in your native language, then in English, can help you learn new vocabulary and expressions in context. You also get to see body language and facial expressions, which add another layer of understanding.
Just be mindful of the accents and the speed of speech. You might want to start with content that is spoken more clearly and at a moderate pace. Cartoons and some sitcoms can be good starting points.
Absolutely. And don't just passively watch. Pay attention to new words and phrases and try to understand how they are used in the conversation. You can even pause and repeat lines to practice your pronunciation.
Another powerful tool is to use language learning apps and websites. Many of these platforms offer interactive exercises that focus on speaking practice through voice recognition technology.
Yes, these apps can be great for practicing pronunciation and getting immediate feedback. Some even have features where you can record yourself speaking and compare it to a native speaker.
And there are also online communities and forums where you can connect with other English learners from around the world. While this isn't exactly practicing with a dedicated partner, it provides opportunities to communicate in English through writing and sometimes even voice chat.
That's a good point, Stefan. Even written communication can improve your overall English skills and build your confidence. Engaging in discussions and asking questions in English online is valuable practice.
Now, let's talk about incorporating English into your hobbies and interests. This can make practicing more enjoyable and relevant to your life.
That's a fantastic suggestion. If you enjoy cooking, try following English recipes. This exposes you to new vocabulary related to food and cooking.
Or if you're into sports, read articles or watch documentaries about your favorite teams and players in English. You'll naturally pick up new words and phrases related to that specific field.
If you like reading, challenge yourself to read English books, magazines, or news articles. Start with something that is at your current level and gradually work your way up to more complex material.
And if you're a fan of video games, try playing games that require you to communicate with other players in English. This can be a fun and immersive way to practice speaking in real time.
The key is to find activities you already enjoy and then find ways to engage with them in English. This makes the learning process feel less like a chore and more like a natural part of your life.
Another often overlooked technique is to record yourself speaking English. This can be a bit daunting at first, but it's incredibly helpful for identifying areas where you can improve.
It's true. When you hear yourself speak, you might notice pronunciation errors or awkward phrasing that you weren't aware of before.
Don't be too critical of yourself, though. The goal is to identify areas for improvement, not to feel discouraged. You can then focus on practicing those specific sounds or sentence structures.
And it's also a great way to track your progress over time. You can compare recordings from a few months ago to your current recordings and see how much you've improved.
Now let's discuss some more structured ways to practice on your own. One effective method is to use English learning textbooks or workbooks.
Yes, these resources often provide exercises and activities that you can do independently, focusing on different aspects of the language like grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation.
You can also find online exercises and quizzes that offer instant feedback, helping you to identify your strengths and weaknesses.
Another structured approach is to follow a language learning curriculum or plan. This could involve setting specific goals for yourself, such as learning a certain number of new words each week or completing a particular online course.
Having a clear plan can help you stay motivated and focused on your learning journey, even when you're practicing independently.
Let's also talk about the importance of active recall and spaced repetition. These are powerful learning techniques that can significantly boost your vocabulary retention and fluency.
Active recall involves trying to remember information without looking at notes or resources. For example, after learning a new word, try to use it in a sentence later in the day without checking its definition.
Spaced repetition involves reviewing learned material at increasing intervals. There are many apps and tools that use spaced repetition algorithms to help you review vocabulary and grammar effectively.
These techniques help to move information from your short-term memory to your long-term memory, making it easier to access and use when you're speaking.
Now, Stefan, let's address a question that some learners might have. Can you really achieve fluency without ever speaking to another person?
That's a very important question, Emily. While it's absolutely possible to make significant progress on your own in terms of vocabulary, grammar, and even pronunciation through the methods we've discussed, true fluency often involves the ability to communicate effectively and spontaneously with others.
Exactly. Real-world conversations involve active listening, responding to unexpected questions, and navigating the nuances of social interaction. These are skills that are best developed through actual conversations with other speakers.
However, if you don't currently have a speaking partner, all the solo practice techniques we've talked about are crucial building blocks. They help you develop the foundational skills and confidence you need to eventually engage in conversations.
Think of it like this. Solo practice is like rehearsing for a play. You can learn your lines and practice your delivery on your own, but the real performance happens when you interact with the other actors and the audience.
So, while practicing alone is invaluable, it's also important to seek out opportunities to speak with others whenever possible. This could be through online language exchange platforms, local conversation groups, or even just striking up conversations with English speakers you encounter in your daily life.
And don't be afraid to make mistakes. Making mistakes is a natural part of the learning process. It's how you identify areas where you need to improve. The goal is to communicate effectively, not to be perfect.
That's excellent advice, Emily. Embrace the mistakes, learn from them, and keep practicing. Every effort you make, whether it's talking to yourself, listening to a podcast, or reading an English book, is moving you closer to your language learning goals.
So, to summarize our discussion today, remember that you don't need a dedicated partner to practice English effectively. There are many powerful techniques you can use on your own, including talking to yourself, thinking in English, immersing yourself in English audio and visual materials, using language learning apps, incorporating English into your hobbies, recording yourself speaking, using structured learning resources, and employing active recall and spaced repetition.
And while solo practice is crucial, don't forget the importance of eventually seeking out opportunities to speak with others to further develop your fluency and communication skills.
Thank you so much for tuning in to English Talking today. We hope you found these tips helpful.
Happy practicing, everyone. And we look forward to speaking with you again in our next episode.
Bye for now.
Goodbye.